Crowdfunding can often be something really great. Thanks to crowdfunding, we have the likes of Pillars of Eternity, the Dark Souls board game, and Divinity Original Sin 2, categorically the best game in human history. But sometimes crowdfunding campaigns don't actually end up going as planned, as we know.
After a successful IndieGogo campaign in February 2016, Retro Computer Limited were on track to make the Vega Plus, a handheld version of the classic Sinclair ZX Spectrum computer. The console, which was going to be preloaded with 1,000 games, was originally supposed to come out in September 2016 for its backers. However, Retro Computers said it had to push back the console's release. They were in negotiations with the TV broadcaster Sky, who owned the rights, and were apparently preventing the console from being released. But after constantly pushing back and subsequently missing project deadlines, Retro Computers found themselves facing angry backers. IndieGogo threatened to send in debt collectors to recoup backers' investments if Retro Computers failed to satisfy several conditions.
Retro Computers was told it had to provide IndieGogo with a final production unit of the console, refund any backer who asked for a refund, and provide contact details for the individuals who were blocking the console's release. Not long after these demands were made, IndieGogo's trust and safety team revealed that Retro Computers had failed to meet the demands, and debt collectors would be sent to recoup backers' funds. So it was already quite a serious situation. Now, 8 weeks on, and Retro Computers announced they had started shipping an initial batch of 400 units to select backers. Backers who opted for the blankety blank version of the console, which comes with no games preloaded and is definitely not related to the British quiz show of the same name, started to receive their consoles this week, and the results were, well, I don't want to say bad, but the opposite of good. One backer called Craig Woodson uploaded a video of his Vega Plus expressing disappointment with the final product. He said, "Sadly, I've been left disappointed with the way they've supplied it to me." Woodson lists numerous issues with the console, such as poor protective packaging, poor build quality, the screen was scratched out of the box, and the sample games supplied with the console didn't work with the buttons straight away. Woodson also reveals the console doesn't come with any instructions, and he was at a loss when it came to adding more games to the system. He ends his video saying, quote, "But hey, it's something." Retro Computers director Suzanne Martin responded to some of the claims on Facebook, saying the consoles were shipped in ethical packaging without any additional plastic, and the instruction manual would be made available online.
But there could be even more trouble ahead for the already troubled console. The BBC now reports that the Vega Plus will actually be stripped of the Sinclair and ZX Spectrum branding after repeatedly missing project deadlines. That means the Sinclair ZX Spectrum Vega Plus can't use the words Sinclair, ZX, or Spectrum. Sky, who own the Sinclair and ZX Spectrum marketing rights, told the BBC they were revoking Retro Computers' license to use the branding because of the company's failure to deliver consoles to backers. A spokesperson for Sky said, quote, "We would love to see the Vega Plus consoles in the hands of fans. However, as RCL have repeatedly failed to deliver and breached the terms of their license, we've made the decision to end our working relationship. To give as many gaming fans as possible the chance to get their Vega Plus console, RCL had 3 additional months from termination to deliver the products." According to the BBC, Retro Computers declined to comment on Sky's actions, but they did have this to say, quote, "We have managed to start shipping at last, but this time we did not say exactly when this would happen. So those who have thrown various spanners into the works in the past in order to hamper our efforts were not able this time to prevent us from shipping."
So this is not the first time that we've talked about this story on the channel. We've talked about it before when the bouncers were getting sent in, when the bailiffs were getting sent in.
Yeah, they were just sending in debt collectors.
Yeah, to basically to recoup some of their money and get, you know, people, the backers who had put money down on this were basically had nothing to show for it, and for this console which had repeatedly missed deadlines. And then here we are now in a more serious situation, I guess, because Sky, the rights owner, is now saying, right, well, you can't use the name. Well, that's what the thing is. The thing is Sinclair ZX Spectrum Vega Plus. Now, it can only use the words Vega Plus, I guess. Or is Vega, do they own that as well? I don't know, but they definitely can't use Sinclair ZX Spectrum.
Yeah.
The fact that they've removed themselves from it is, you know, almost signing the kind of death warrant on this thing. It's like, it's already, you know, there's only 400 units that have gone out. Well, this is kind of It's not good for them.
It really isn't, is it? And the fact that when we covered it, it was news then, means that since then, if you search ZX Spectrum, because, you know, as far as I know, Sinclair and ZX Spectrum were quite big at the time, but haven't actually been releasing consoles or doing anything video game related for a while. So what I mean is, you know, new news normally rises to the top. So Clive Sinclair, who invented it, and Sky, who owned the rights, are Googling these names, and the first thing that comes up is this horror story of Kickstarter backers or Indiegogo backers basically being, you know, left in the dust really when it comes to their products. So I guess they're like, shit, we don't want to be associated with these guys. And then they've heard even more bad news, and now people are getting their products and they're economically packaged, which is a great way of saying, you know, we didn't send...
Ethically, they were
yeah.
You know.
There's no instruction manual because it's ethical, it's all online these days. It just doesn't seem right. So they've just pulled it. It's like, imagine having the Microsoft Xbox One X Plus, but you can't use Microsoft or Xbox, it would just be the One X Plus. That's essentially what this is the same as. It doesn't mean anything really unless you've got those big names behind you. Even their Indiegogo is Clive Sinclair and ZX Spectrum and us present this, and now it's just like, oh, us.
I mean, they're pointing the blame elsewhere. That's the thing that we should point out. That is part of their defence this whole time. They're just saying that, you know, there's other people throwing spanners in the works, stopping us doing things, slowing us down. That's what their position is on it. You know, we don't really know what the inner workings are. We can't see what is actually going on there. But the reality is, for whoever's backed it, there's only a small group who've actually received the console, and even then, it wasn't the thing that they thought. It's not preloaded with 1,000 games, for example. It's quite an important thing to note. It's just a unit with some like not demo stuff, but like a taster of what you should be able to play on it.
That's
and
right.
It's not 1,000 games. Ultimately, a disappointment for the people who've backed it. You know, as we've quoted there for you, people putting up, you know, videos of them unboxing it and stuff and saying that it's just, I mean, it's something, I've put my money down and I've got something out of it, but it's not what I thought it would be.
Do you know what else was something? The Ouya. The Ouya was something. Can you remember that something?
That was something. So anyone who listens to the podcast or watches it every week, we've got some news for you. We're actually on iTunes and Spotify now, so you can listen to us properly like a podcast, just kind of listening to it. Yeah. You know, it's a big, bold idea, but I think it could actually take off.
You can listen to it in the car, bath.
I'm doing the outro.
Kitchen.
All right, you can be in the outro as well.
Just slide that thing that slides on, slide it out again.
Yeah, Liam,
you can slide it back now.
The slide thing over Jake, and then...
Yeah, right, see ya.
We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on your other favourite podcast provider. We'll put some links in the description for you so you can have a look and listen to us properly rather than, you know, watching a video on YouTube. You can take us with you in the car, do whatever you want, like a normal podcast. Isn't that good news? So yeah, do that. So that's iTunes, that's Spotify, that's Castbox, wherever you get your podcast, you can now listen to us. Do that. Links in the description, like I said. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next time.